Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. On behalf of TIE Kerala, it is my privilege to greet you at Vision Kerala Unlocking Kerala Waterways, a panel discussion dedicated to reimagine the future of our state's most timeless asset, its waterways. Kerala's rivers, canals, and backwaters are not just a part of our heritage, but hold immense potential for sustainable transport, tourism, and economic growth. Today's discussion will explore how we truly unlock this potential. Now I invite Vivek Krishna Govind, President of TIE Kerala, for the presidential address and to invite the panelists.
Nice to have all of you with us on a fine evening and a very interesting topic. And good to see that the topic has generated some degree of interest. We first thought this will be a very closed roundtable discussion with only a few experts who would be part of that. So maybe 8-10 experts would sit together and discuss, but then we thought, okay, this is something in which there's a lot of interest. As we discussed, we found that a lot of people are seeing avenues and potential in this topic. So then we opened up, and it's good to see that we have an almost full hall of delegates who are here to discuss this on a very difficult day. We know half of the roads are blocked thanks to Amit Shah's visit, and many of us who went for the program got very badly stuck in different parts of the city. So it's good that all of you could be here. Most of you are active members of TIE Kerala, so there is not much that I need to say about TIE. So this is a very active body focused on entrepreneurship. It has been in existence for close to 3 decades, more than 20 plus years in the Kerala ecosystem. We are involved in various activities right from the school level, which is our young entrepreneur program. Then colleges, we have the TIE University, we have the TIE Women program, we have Capital Cafe for upcoming entrepreneurs, we have the Kerala Angel Network, which is the funding arm, and various other avenues and various verticals. Some of the stalwarts in the state are extremely active members of TIE who take up leadership positions of various verticals and who have been supporting the ecosystem. We work very closely with the state government, both at the state level as well as at the central level. Very active chapters of TIE all across the globe. And in Kerala, we have certain niche areas in which we are particularly interested and focused, and we are looking at also adding certain other avenues to our already existing verticals. And there is only one chapter in the state, so we have a Malabar zone which is working like a hub and spoke. We have a Trivandrum zone where there are chairs. In fact, the moderator for today's session, Mr. Ananda Mani, is heading the Malabar zone of TIE Kerala. And I think without wasting too much time, we'll just go directly to the topic. My job is to invite all the delegates onto the dais. So I'll start with the moderator, Ananda Mani. May I have you on stage? Ananda Mani is the managing partner of Ananda Mani Consultancy LLP. I don't need to say much because I'm just hoping that all the panelists will also do our speakers. I'm sure during the course of the panel they will introduce themselves. Ananda Mani is an engineer by profession and one of the known leading faces both in the interior design as well as the consultancy space. He has been very actively involved in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, active member of TIE Kerala, as I said earlier, heading our Malabar area, and also the president of the Calicut Management Association. For more than one term he has served and doing a lot of great work in that part of the state. And today he will be talking to us on this topic. Let me also invite all the other speakers and panelists onto the stage, please. Our past president, Dominic, the co-founder of CGS Church. Over to you, sir. Mr. Jobin J. Akarakalam, partner of Spice Route Luxury House Cruises. Sandith, Thandasherry, founder and CEO of NavAlt. Kaushiq, the founder of Jellyfish, Watersports. And Sajan P. John, the Chief Operating Officer of Kochi Water Metro. So these are our eminent panelists, and over to you, Mani. I think we can get them.
Welcome to this great evening on an excellent topic, unlocking Kerala waterways. And much more than that is the rich and the diverse panel what you have here to discuss about this very important topic. Of course, with Mr. Jose, I have been working with him in Thai as the tourism committee, and many a times I have heard him talking about the waterways in Kerala. You all know Mr. Jose Dominic. I do not need a detailed introduction. He is the co-founder of CGH Earth, which is a collection of pioneering eco-sensitive resorts which integrate local culture, nature, and responsible practices. And of course, I add water also into his tourism activities. Welcome, Mr. Jose. Mr. Jobin, as you all know, he is the partner of Spice Route Luxury Houseboat Cruises, which is a hospitality venture that showcases Kerala's backwaters through the world-class luxury cruise experiences. Mr. Sandith, another charter member of ours, who is the founder of and the CEO of NavAlt Solar and Electric Boats, India's first company which is specializing in large solar passenger ferries. Many more to talk about that thing, but all his awards and all those things will take a good number of time. Kaushiq, of course, a good friend of mine and a native of my own home place, who was ventured into, from his profession, keeping it intact, but actively founded the Jellyfish Watersports, which is unique on its own in the Malabar part, and which is a venture focused on promoting eco-friendly adventure tourism and recreational water activities in Kerala. And of course, then comes one of the most important person for this discussion, the CEO of Water Metro, Mr. Sajan P. John, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Kochi Metro, which is the world's largest integrated and organized water transport system. Coming back, there's a Vision Kerala panel, what I would wish to do as a takeaway of this panel, great panel discussion. So what I wish to say is Kerala, this is a place which has got its own unique features. That's why all of you has ventured into this activity in tourism or in many other ways of unlocking Kerala waterways. So let's start with one common question, probably which everybody would sitting here would lead in answer, which I wish all of you answer to that question in 1 minute or max of 2 minutes. How good is Kerala waters? What is the realities of the situation of Kerala water? And what are the challenges and opportunities of the present situation? If these three questions can be initiated so that there can be a rollout towards the detailed talk, I would first prefer JD to start with how good is Kerala waters?
How good is the Kerala backwaters?
How good is Kerala waters presently? And what are the realities of the situation of the water? Because I know all five of you are facing different situation with respect to the water. So, or at least what are the realities of?
I will answer your question.
Yeah.
Though it's a challenge to do it in 1 minute.
Yeah.
I answer your question by saying some historical perspective why we chose to go into the Kerala backwaters.
Okay.
Year 1992,
yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Year 1992. There's not a single tourism venture in the backwaters there.
Yeah.
So we decided to set up a unit there. Now it's called Coconut Lagoon. We went by boat from here. On the way, long journey. On the way, we drop anchor somewhere midstream in backwater. Dive, have a swim, and get back before we reach. When we're looking for land, everybody in Kerala was influencing us. Please buy his land. Please help us buy our land. Anybody crazy enough to buy land here? I got ministers to call and say, I've got my candidates, please buy that land. Two, it was established. 93 was the year of the Surat plague. India, foreign travel to India ceased. India discovered India that year. And as it turned out, to answer your question, how good? As it turned out, that Gujarat discovered the backwaters. And for a Gujarati girl to get married, the father had to offer a dowry, as dowry, honeymoon back in Coconut Lagoon for her to get married. That was the situation then.
Situation that time. Is that
So
situation
backwaters,
still prevalent?
in other words, how good is the backwaters? It actually it enabled Kerala as a destination to plummet forward. It's a unique facility. That's many more to be said. To answer your question, how good? It could not be better.
It could not have been better at that point of time.
And now.
Jobin?
Hi, good evening all. First of all, I have to thank Thai for such a great initiative in having this topic as the discussion today. Me being a passionate tourism entrepreneur from the heart of backwaters, that is basically I'm from a small village called Chenangiri, near to Kainagiri, who everybody will know being more of Kainagiri than Chenangiri. So I was born and brought up there. When we were into agriculture, so those days my grandfather and parents, they would have had different boats. That's mainly for the transport part, as well as moving out the rice and things around. That's when my father thought of tourism. Thanks to the CGH group, because they started in 92. We started in 94, 95, wherein a few of the guests wanted to go to Coconut Lagoon, which is the hot spot. Those days, they don't allow people to come and see the property, but you want to get in, you'll have to pay for the room. That was the days when Coconut Lagoon was. So we were the transporter then to Coconut Lagoon. So that's how we got connected to the tourism. So thanks to Jose Uncle for starting that. Now, coming to backwaters, it was very pristine then. I would like to disagree to what Jose Uncle said. Right now, being an entrepreneur there is a lot of changes happened, especially after the flood. After the flood, the Great Flood, 2018. Most of the places has to be dredged, which is a major concern right now in the backwaters. Because we operate 365 days houseboats. We got 9 fleets of boats. And we operate 365 days because, as Mr. Dominic said, now it's the time of domestic. It is not the time of inbound or foreigners. We have a lot of domestic travelers traveling right these days. And after the COVID, people in India started spending for their holiday. Recently, there was a study that almost 80% of people take loans and travel, make sure that they travel. So that's been the trend right now. And we need to keep the backwaters moving 365 days. That's not the situation right now during the months of April, May, June, because of the very low water this thing. And we are so lucky that we have the Western Ghats on the one side and the sea on the rest, on the eastern side, so that it automatically flushes out the whatever damage we have done to the sea. Otherwise, the tourism would have stopped by now. That's what I feel in my. They can add on.
If you were to think from a tourism angle, one aspect is whether you can operate the boats, and second is whether people can actually swim on the water. So to both the answer, our waters are very bad. What it exists today. For the boat operation, if you see these issues of any person who operates the boats know there will be a lot of ropes, there will be net, then the many other things in the debris in water which creates issue for any boat operator. Then the draft is low in many areas, something which he alluded to. Even our national waterways cannot maintain that minimum 1.8 meter, which is an issue. The other thing is a serious problem is whether we can really swim in the water. We have all kind of items being dumped into our waters, including sewage. So the cities are like, we don't have to look all the way to UP or anywhere to. We have our own places where sewage is being dumped directly into the waters. Until that is solved, our waters will not be clean, green to enable people to swim. This is what I feel.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity. So I have a total different view on this. I think Kerala waters are extremely good for small entrepreneurs to get into small businesses. I was not an expert on waterways or water sports even. I had bought my own kayak, started taking my family, then friends, and then they say, hey, this is cool, can we do it? And that's how I started my small enterprise called Jellyfish Watersports. Today, we have about 100 kayaks, 25 stand-up paddle boats, we have 15 sailboats, we have rowing boats, we have Churlin Vallam, and we also have a houseboat. So second houseboat is going to come. So how did I reach that? I could have sat, looked at the water, complained about the water, all the problems. Well, I didn't have to because I said, hey, this is cool. A kayak is easy to launch, while a big boat you can't launch. So I said kayaking. Now today, to my knowledge, the river that I started, Chaliyar River, there's about 7 kayaking clubs. I was this morning in Kochi in Panangad Sailing Club. Around it, there are 4 clubs. So that's great, right? Where can we start a small business with 10 lakhs and expect 1 or 2 lakhs a month revenue? Perfect. Now, quality of water, yeah. Every country had this problem. Germany had bigger problems during Industrial Revolution. The waters were black. They couldn't drink. Then they put some rules that factories have to let the sewage drinkable quality. Now, we can't wait for all that. So another way is our waters, we have rivers, we have backwaters. Everyone talks about backwaters. What about the rivers? What about other backwaters that are not developed? So Kumarakam and all that is developed. What about north in Kasargod and even parts of Calicut? So there's a lot of opportunity. People can start small businesses and I can help. So answer is excellent, great opportunities. If you wait for the best hunky-dory solution, you can wait. Hopefully it'll come, but you don't have to. You can start with, and we all talk about green, blue economy, where perfect solution. We can create employment, sustainable, and then it's an ecosystem. So that's my answer.
Thank you. I know how we are doing in Calicut. I'll just invite Mr. Sajan to talk.
I represent Kochi Water Metro. Water Metro is a transport solution, urban water transport solution. So, connecting it with tourism, there are, because we believe a lot of possibilities there, because connectivity ensures that kind of boost in the tourism. That is what we think. Especially, we think about the islands of Kochi. There are a lot of possibilities. The Virgin Islands like Kadamakudi and other places, they are going to get connected, and it will unbox a lot of opportunities. That's what I feel. Mostly we operate in the national waterways, so though we have a lot of issues, not only on the depth and draft and other things, there are bigger issues like water hygiene and other things. And again, other speakers mentioned about the filth that is we are throwing into the water bodies. We have to control all these things, but we can look positive because Kerala can market water as a very important element in promoting our tourism sector.
I understand that none of you has lost interest in water. All plus and minuses, what all you say, but still we are missing out on many of these beauties, such as the natural beauties and the different place what nature has opted. But it is exactly for that point for what Tai has opted for this panel discussion today evening. We should really appreciate President and the entire team for taking up this very topic. So I come back to JD in one way. All what you said, you have been with this industry for many years, especially as you mentioned in Kuttanad and surroundings. With respect to the points what you said and with respect to the points what the balance of the panel said, are things changing? Do you feel that things are changing with respect to unlocking this potential? Do you feel so?
unlocking Kerala waterways as an ingredient for Kerala destination. And in that perspective, without the backwaters, Kerala is not a destination. It's zero. It's so very much part of our personality and identity, the of destination Kerala. Now, we have discussed many of the issues, whether it's a sewage or it is not in our draft, but there's a certain magic in the backwaters, which comes from many things. It's also, besides tourism, besides transportation, agriculture. Just recently, I posted that on I had, along with a relative of mine, went to a place called R Block, where in 1946, a gentleman by the name of Murikin salvaged the waters to make it into rice paddies. And when we went on that waterway, in the jetties, we could see, I saw one jetty named Che Guevara Jetty. So I posted to a red letter, to a red friend, I saw this. Why didn't you have Murikin Jetty? What I'm just coming back to is that it's so much, the backwaters is so ingrained into Kerala's social and political background. And to harness its potential, of course, I will say that the best way to do it is, I say it very often in many forums, to make the backwaters swimmable again. How will you do that? You have to just stop all flow of sewage, because a Dutch study said the heavy metal content and the fecal matter content in the backwaters is far beyond tolerable limits. One. Two, as Sandith was alluding to, you can't drive a boat because of that, because the fecal matter, the weed growth is so out of control. All that is there, but all manageable. But we've got a big asset. And unlocking that asset requires a relook at it. It requires us not to discharge the highlands of Kerala, where the cardamom grows. Kerala has a record. The most productive per acre cardamom plantation in the world is now in Kerala, in Idukki. Also, but the record says that the maximum quantity of chemicals and pesticides per acre is there. What happens to all that? First rain is all in the backwaters.
That's what he said. It's getting flushing out.
It's coming backwaters.
That's what
that means
said, yeah.
Our water table is polluted. Our food cycle is unedible and all that. So if in 25 years, in my first story I was talking about, we went and had a swim. Today when I go in the backwaters, if water splashes on me, I get another fresh water and clean it off. If that happened 25 years, another 20 years, imagine what is going to happen.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you. Is that, in fact, that's what, that was one main point. As you often used to say, make Kerala, I used to read most of your posts in RK group and even Thai group, where you often used to vouch for make Kerala back the swimmable in the old way. In fact, I was sharing that point with Jobin. So one common question to both Sandith and Jobin is, all set, how do you both look at this topic through the lens of new opportunities and perspectives with respect to cruises and solar boats?
Maybe Sandip would give you more on the solar part. But I would say with all this perspective, on the business part, there is a lot of opportunity for the backwaters. Especially, see, if you would have seen the northern part, there are river cruises for 15 to 17 days. In Kerala, we don't have that. There's a good opportunity for that. In fact, we are planning for one, for a 8-night cruise starting from Cochin back to Cochin. So that could be a good opportunity for new cruise boats or new investors to come in. Already there's been one announced by one of the big company They're starting by this October. So there's a good opportunity for that. But for that, the challenges is the bridges. If you look at the National Waterways has been announced way back, I think, in 2016. We have the number 3 National Waterways from Kollam to Kottapuram. But if you look at from 2016 to 2025, there's no change which has happened. It's not yet cruisable. We just have the Thanirmukkam, the bridge just been built, which is now easily to move on. But if you look at from Pallathurthi towards south, that is to Kollam, most of the places are blocked. So what the government has to do is be a facilitator, open up the areas wherein the entrepreneurs can start, because it's just concentrated to Alleppey or just to Kumarakam or to Kozhikode. We need this to spread out. It's very concentrated. So for this to spread out, more openings has to be, that's what I feel.
So when I look back in the last few years, I have observed at least a huge spurt in the number of solar boats we are deployed in the tourism sector. So we started with public transport primarily because the asset utilization was high and tourism was not yet economical. What I mean is, as opposed to a diesel or petrol boat, the difference in cost, whether it breaks even by fuel saving. So public transport was yes 10 years back. Tourism started only 2-3 years back. So there are 2 reasons I see it when I look back, why this happened. One is because solar panel, battery, all prices came down, so that boats' differential cost reduced between diesel versus this. Second is people have started flocking to what are these places, water bodies for tourism projects. So many new places have come in where there are small boating, like in our case, a solar boat plus a lot of kayaks, many new places. At least 3 in that small area of Thrissur side, Tripurayar side. There are 3 which started in the last 6 months. So in that sense, there is a lot of increase in adoption of these water bodies and water body based tourism. Now, if you see across India, what at least I've seen, just to take the lesson back, so the best place I've seen is in Sukna Lake in Chandigarh. Sukna Lake, Chandigarh, where because the municipality or the central body controls that lake to license the operation in that body, they anyway restricted certain kind of boats, solar boats in this case. Best place for the tourism investment returns, at least I have seen where at least the boats have been deployed. So in Kerala, I see that number as 2-3 years, the asset recovery cost in these newly formed tourism areas. So at least that same entrepreneur which I refer to, who started in Thrissur, has now started in Manalur, because they recovered that first boat capex in that 2 years. So this, and I see that in many other places in Kerala. So to that extent, I feel there is an increase in the last couple of years for these kind of adoption. And I only know about this boating related. I don't know about hotel side and all, but this part I am very clear.
Kaushiq, with respect to what Jobin and Sandith said, from your point of view, Jobin was saying regarding the bridges, which is some hindrance for tourism. Are we having such a problem in Malabar?
Malabar, the newly constructed bridges are 4.5 meter draft. That's just constructed recently. Okay. But what we did is, the railway bridge, which is not done by state government, but central government. Farouk railway bridge is only 4.5 meter. So we already know the challenges. Instead of hoping the railway bridge will be broken and rebuilt with a height, we said let's bring smaller boats, low draft, and offer it, because Calicut doesn't have, from a waterway perspective, you can't experience houseboat. The nearest is probably Ponnani. But you go there, you see like really dilapidated boats, no good quality. This is all 13, 14 years ago, slightly better now. So we built smaller boats. I came to Alleppey, got a boat builder. We did some research. The best boat builder who's interested in working with us, because all the big guys don't want to work with someone in Calicut. I was like, buzz off. So this guy was interested. He gives us support. We build flat, low boat. Perfect. We are charging 6,000 rupees. And people say, oh, Alleppey, it's cheaper. Okay, go to Alleppey. It's only 400 kilometers and, 10 hours of drive. Go. So we've been able to do like business like that because we are a little bit, we are the only one, right? I must have said that to you. So my view is, cars, look at cars. We did not have great expressways and then we bought the cars, right? We had the cars first, then there was the demand, then started the roads, petrol pump. So why don't we do the same? Why are we waiting for expressways to buy your Ferrari? No, you buy the Ferrari and then it will eventually get there. Maybe not a Ferrari, but I hope you know what I mean. So that's my point. People like Sandith should supply more boats. Then naturally, everyone, including the government, politicians, they will take interest. Okay, now it's an important point. Just like roads, right? Roads are a good example. We never had good roads. 25 years ago, we didn't have great roads here. But now we do. Why? Because that gets them vote. Good road is a good benchmark for voting whoever's in the power. Tomorrow, if there are boat builders, and there are lots of boats, if I have a great waterway, clean, signboards, access, pontoons, yeah, I will vote for that person. Simple as that.
What you mentioned, 4.5 meters of height. I go back to Jobin, what Jobin said. He was mentioning that there are many international operators and national operators who are intended to come to Kerala and do things in a very good way. So with that point, I come to you, Mr. Sajan. It seems that there are many governance issues. There should be some common accepted standards for all these things or some guidance points, because when you understand that, when you say that the height of a bridge is 4.5 meter, which may serve the purpose of the bridge, but may not serve the purpose for the topic for what we are discussing. So I just wish to have a comment from you regarding the governance issues that is being faced. Probably even you might be facing as the CEO of a water metro. So there are certain governance issues that has to be addressed and tackled. There should be some common accepted standards keeping the future into looking. I just wished you to comment first and then JD to have an opinion on that.
See, IW has set out standards. What should be the minimum air draft? They have different standards for different waterways. But if you take one example, say Vaitila, near Vaitila on Kaniyambura rail bridge is there. So that is only 4.5 meter air draft. In last season, we had to stop thrice. Thrice we had to stop operations. Okay, it is for 1 hour or 2 hours only, but we had to stop when the water level was rising. So we approached IWA, and their reply was actually when the bridge was constructed, they have taken up this issue, but railways went ahead with the construction because of other reasons what they are putting. So naturally there could be issues, but generally now IWA is not giving permission to construct bridges with low air draft in IWA national waterways. But the same problem comes in other waterways as well. Here, wherever water metro is operating, we have the bridges are coming up, though they are asking us, our NOC also they are sought. But again, there are a lot of pressure because naturally PWD or anybody, they want to do at a lower, for convenience, because otherwise they have to ramp up. That issue is there. But still, I think standards are improving, and this may be sorted out in future.
I circle back this question back to you, JD, when they say that certain major problems like this, as I mentioned, there should be some common accepted standards, because even Sajan was mentioning regarding the role of IW. At this point of time, with respect to this topic, can TIE take some initiative in this point? Can that be one of the good outcome of this panel discussion? Because there needs to be some uniformity and some common standards. You being one of the senior person of TIE, can we do something?
I is champion of entrepreneurship. I would also take the position that Kerala's future, or not future, its survival depends on an entrepreneur in every home. So, now coming back to the relevant relationship of that to the backwaters and its development. The development of the backwaters, coming back to this whole question about how blockages are created, there was a time when Kuttanad, or the backwaters, was accessible only by water. Then the roads came, and accessibility by water was destroyed. I will say that during 2018 big flood, I remember yeoman service is done by none other than Jobin supplying relief materials to the people whose house had been flooded. The difficulty of access was that all the water access had been blocked. So we have created a major crisis. Anybody wanting to get out in that situation could not, because you had to go 3 or 4 boats from blockage to blockage, then you shift to go to the next one. What does the backwater represent for Kerala today? And how do we unlock that asset? Why we should not make mistakes? How do we get out of those? One, I would think, without doubt, make it swimmable again. Meaning, you have to do all that possible that backwaters become, as Sandith was referring to, in industrial times in Europe, backwaters are black. Our canals here, look at it, black. All of Kochi, the cities of Kerala, the panchayats of Kerala, municipalities of Kerala, have one great solution for the sewage. Just let it go in the backwaters. That is disastrous. We are running into not only destroying an asset, but creating a liability. Enormous liability. Of course, in the meanwhile, we can go by houseboats and kayaks and all that. But there is a looming danger there. That, I think, is the responsibility of bodies like TIE. Said, open your eyes.
Luckily, we have our president who had gone out back in our dais now. So it's the right point of time when we are taking up the discussion. I just give the mic once to you. You might have heard all what the panelists are saying. I was just posing a question to JD. What can TIE do? Or what can be the outcome of this panel discussion with these legends? You can just...
A very interesting discussion thus far. And now, as you know, we have many verticals here. And we many a time have roundtable discussions. We come out with white papers. We don't really know where these white papers disappear. So on the ground, on a topic which is as complex as this, where we know that to make the riverways, waterways navigable on one side, clean on the other side, to possibly have the kind of gondolas. Or we've heard a lot of these things happen. I mean, discussions talking about what seems like those of us who've traveled, we've seen it elsewhere. Is it really practical that can happen in Kochi? With particularly, I'd like your view also on that, sir, because we know the scale of the project which Kochi Metro is now taking up. What really are the obstacles you face? Because many of these ambitious projects get stuck somewhere. What would you want from us as a body which has some of the leading industrialists and our touch point with the government, etc.? What would you want us to do to actually make this workable on the ground?
I think most of you might be aware of one project that KFR has taken up, IUWRTS. That is to rejuvenate 6 canals of Kochi. In this project, actually, now Kochi has a sewage plant of 5 MLD in Elakulam. What is proposed under this IUWRTS project is 55 MLD. That is required for the city, entire city. So once that happens, that is a 3,000 plus crore project. is much bigger than Water Metro project actually. So once that happens, I think these sewerage issues must be sorted out, at least in Kochi. But similar models has to come in other cities and smaller towns. Maybe it may be easier to manage. Bigger cities has its own problem. But one thing I just wanted to mention is like IWA standards, there has to be standards in state level. Standards also has to be there to address other water bodies. This IWA standard is only about national waterways. Other water bodies, there are no such guidelines or mandatory provisions given. That has to be taken up.
So
maybe take up that with the government.
So I would just wish if all the other panel members also can give a 1 minute answer to what President has asked. What should TIE do? That is a question. Sandith, you can go from this side onwards. Till the respect of the points of discussions what we have had, what should TIE do?
See, government will, if an individual go, obviously they will not pay heed to these comments. But TIE as an organization for sure can put weight behind many of the suggestions. If you are asking me like whether which of these to do or how to do, is that?
No, the question posed by President was put for the whole of the points what we mentioned. What should TIE take up an initiative?
So
may not be all may not be solved, but at least we do start up with something.
Yeah, so for sure, like one thing in this panel itself, what I observe is like, of course, Kaushiq is optimistic now, which is very good. We are all in the business because we are all optimistic. But for sure, we need change. That is also clear. We all agree that we need change. So all these changes we are suggesting, at least I have certain perspective to make the water cleaner, to avoid the sewage, like he's saying about a very specific actionable point. Bridges like IW, as he said, there is standard. In the IW also states what to do for state bridges also. But that's not mandated. Government of Kerala is not following, irrigation department for sure. They should be able, all new bridges has to be following the perspective that, okay, this will create issue for the others as well. And the cruise tourism, what he mentioned. So in today, Kerala inland waters, the design wise, you can at best take a vessel which is 35 meters. 30 meters. 8-9 meters. So large cruise is ruled out. Large cargo is ruled out. Although inland waters make so economic sense for cargo movement, we are not able to do because of bridge height and bridge width. Both are of an issue on when it comes to cargo.
All are talking about inland to cargo also. Nothing is happening.
Yeah. So the year I came, which is like 2008. That is when our then Chief Minister Sri Ananda inaugurated the cargo movement. Nothing is still moving in all these years. Seriously, from a cargo. So what can be done? There is potential, but if TIE can take up these specific actionables, what can be done? Because there's no point in just telling many things. Actionable 1, 2, 3, bridge, sewage, this. Then yes, I think something will happen. At least one should happen.
Yeah, that should be the outcome of. There should be some outcome for this panel. Jobin, please.
Yeah, I would like to tell to TIE that you will have to submit to the government few things like there should be a custodian to the backwaters or the rivers. As he was saying, there is IWA, but what is left to the other rivers like the panchayats, like the state rivers? The irrigation department is the custodian. The irrigation department works like the Raja, I think more than 60 years old, the system is running around there. And they just don't look at the future part. No, but there should be a custodian to it, especially on the sewage part. See, I am doing this business for the last 18 years. And the houseboat industry or the brand of Kerala tourism is the houseboat. In between, Mr. Dominic was saying that Kerala tourism is nothing without the backwaters. Yes, if you look at Sri Lanka, who is on a tourism perspective, who is a big competitor to us, they have Ayurveda, they have got hill station, they have got the best beaches. They don't have backwaters. So I know few agents who does Europe tour, Europeans or US clients who comes to Sri Lanka, but they just come for 2 nights to the backwaters, just do the river cruise back from India. That's what they do. Why is it happening? Because they are selling as a part of the Sri Lankan package. Why is it happening? Because they don't have backwaters. If they had backwaters, they tried for a houseboat in Naruli or somewhere, I don't know, in the north, in the hills. It was just on a dam. So it didn't click. If it would have clicked, or if they had a backwater routing, definitely this would have, Sri Lanka would have definitely been on a higher side on the tourism perspective. So what we wanted for the business is, this industry has been there for 30 years. There's not even a single STP, a sad thing to say to entrepreneurs. There's not even a single STP which is functioning in the backwaters of Alleppey and Kumarakam for the last 6 years, where more than 900 houseboats operate legally, and people say that there are 1,200 houseboats operating. So where is the sewage going? So who's the custodian? The government is the custodian. Either the tourism department or who will bell the cat? The district administration doesn't have any power. The irrigation department doesn't have any power. The so-called the national waterways doesn't have any power. Previously, I remember 10 or 15 years back, there was a cargo taking the FACT products to Kollam. Now it's not moving. It's not moving. There were initial lightings arranged. Now it's not there. The night cruise is not there. Why? What is stopping a tourism? What is stopping a night cruise in the backwaters of Alleppey? If you give a proper space, you can do it. That's not there.
You say that the ground reality is contrary to the projections what is being made by government and all bodies. Am I right?
So I would request Thai.
Yeah, that's what we get. We just hear JD also, and then we'll relieve President. Yeah, Kaushiq also, yeah.
I think what we can do as Thai, because I'm part of some of these groups. One of them is on the adventure tourism. So one of my fellow member in the group, Jackson, is here. What we did together with Kerala Tourism, we said kayaking, all this, we are introducing adventure sports. So Kerala Tourism wanted to make sure it's safe. So instead of government putting all the rules, they created a group, people like us, who has nothing, no say in the government, but they empaneled us, they created a group. Everyone has an expertise, so my expertise was water related. Then there was Pradeep, who was fixing zip lines, Jackson, who's scuba diving. So we had a group suddenly, people who has expertise, and then an email address that all of us get monitored. And then if there's a new club, so my own club, it was inspected by my team without me. So, and then Jackson came, he said, Kaushiq, you don't have that, you don't have this. It's my own club, and I made a mistake. And it was done fantastically well, right? Then the government gave us an approval that, okay, this is now a safe, place. So it was a good eye-opener for me, because I was a bit overconfident. My own club, I'm like, yeah, we have it, but it was not there. So likewise, Thai can create a group to start with, and then we keep on pushing. Government, my little experience with government, and all of you are a lot more experiences. Government is like, I'm a sales guy, so you need to go keep on pressing, persistence. And then if there is forums like us, go keep on pressing and pressing and pressing, and one day they'll give. Now talking about pollution and all, like I take a lot of pride in being part of Chaliar River. 40 years ago, one of the highly polluting industrial giant, Birlas, the entire project was closed by one person, right? So we do have good stories of how things can change. I'm not saying we don't have any problems. Pollution is my biggest enemy. People don't want to come kayaking because they are making direct contact. And we have to educate, we have to put extra showers, we have to make shower rooms and all that for that. But how can we change? I think a group, Thai is a great place. Create a forum. I'm jobless now, so I can be part of it. I don't have a full-time job, that's what I meant. Then there are people like us, so we can create, we can start, go talk to the youngsters, give them trouble by constantly talking about it. That's my suggestion.
Kerala has a wonderful story when local entrepreneurs did what they could, which is small, in a manner which they knew which is local, small and indigenous, still made world class. Now, stepping out of that, despite that experience that you had for Kerala, now you're going to go acquire 1,000 acres, put 5,000 crores, casinos, whatnot, I don't know. I don't know what kind of elephant they're going to create. So, that same, we come back to backwaters. We have got magnificent social community, entrepreneurs in the state, where Kerala's Thanima can be utilized, our resources can be utilized. So, coming back, your question was, we've heard stories about that inaugurated, not opened, all that. That will continue. That will continue. Now, but if Kerala, big asset like the backwaters, proven for tourism, proven for mobility, proven for, for agriculture. And in fact, just to put a small note here, in agriculture 46, thousands of acres was made into rice paddy. I went as a tourist this time, since I'm jobless, accompanying somebody else, and all five, a place called R Block, C Block, R Iram, many names like that, Rani, Chitra, many lands like that, all magnificent, serene, no more rice paddy. Land is acquired, redistributed landless, and because under Land Ceiling Act. So now all of them have become fallow again. Great for tourism. Fallow lands, filled with water, serene climate. So now, like in Munnar, where once plantation was the primary GDP value creator, primary employer, now tourism has now become that there. Similarly, the backwaters, the biggest employer, the biggest value addition to GDP comes from tourism, not from rice paddies. That's a side. Tourism has a role, and I think even as we go ahead, we will find that, like when you build those 4.5 meter highways, we are asking another generation ahead to demolish them. The kind of our short-sightedness. So what can Thai do is a big question. Thai must put, I think all that we need to be is be an advocacy body. Point out the big asset that lies here. Rare, as Jobin has said, among all destinations in this region, nobody has things like this, like what we have. Along with the social climate that we have. Extraordinary. And let's not waste it.
Understood. So,
Sir, can I add one point to it? Maybe Thai can give a representation because government knows everything. The Kufos has done a study that 50 years back it was 8 meter depth. Right now it is just an 1.5 meter depth is the backwaters of Veminad has right now, few of the places. So government also knows this. You can actually dredge this land. Now if you go to our block, you will see all topless coconuts there. Fill out that area, do a vegetable farming. You don't have to depend to another state for vegetables. You can easily, Kerala can sustain on vegetables from the backwaters.
topic of today's backwaters. JD was mentioned regarding many other points also. So let us concentrate on the topic itself. How do we unlock this Kerala waterways? So all these 5 panelists have given their point and thoughts regarding what Thai can do. Now, it is for you to answer what is the initiative we all can collectively take. He just ran back.
He just put me into the hotspot. No, I think before we do that, I can also let me acknowledge that there are some experts here. Let's get some views also from them, and then collective. There is a forum called Better Kochi Response Group. Kurian sir from Dhanam, JP, the waterman, Dr. George, another water expert I can see. three people who have very strong views on this seated here. There may be some of the others also who may have. It'd be nice to get your thoughts also, all three of you on this topic. Dr. George, we'll have the mic.
Yeah, I personally think if you can get, Mr. Murikan was one of the great entrepreneurs of Kerala. He created about 2,000 acres of land. If one of those blocks is permitted to be developed, let's say a 600-acre 1 R block, that should be converted into what is like, in my opinion, a Las Vegas or a Macau kind of place. And I am fully in favor of gaming and gambling. And that is the way tourism will grow. It is where money will come. It is where jobs will come. It is where the tourists will come. Of course, they will also come with investment. And they will clean up the waters. We have to call a spade a spade. And I don't think anybody here, sitting here, knows or is expecting the Kerala government to come forward with solutions. They haven't. They've always been late, far too late. I mean, if at all there is an opportunity, I would say, and I'm not supporting any political party here or ideology, but I think 2020 is a Kerala-born political group with an entrepreneur at its helm who can probably transform. Are we ready to support 2020 and get them to power? I mean, that is the only way you're going to change things. It's not going to happen any other way. The LDF is not going to do it, the Congress or the UDF is not going to do it, and BJP, nobody even wants to touch it with a 10-foot fall. So, I mean, the waters of Kerala are deadly and dirty. My opinion is, for instance, the Market Canal is being done by the Water Metro. I believe you should put 4 generators there and pump the water out. And then take all the muck out, clean the side walls and make it clean, and should put the gates. That is the only way you can clean it. Otherwise, it will continue to be dirty and it will be a cesspool forever. Thank you.
The government has so many files full of ideas, but the problem is implementation. And if you see things, what's happening here, nothing is going to change. As somebody suggested, the government will not change. So as Dominic said, it's for the entrepreneurs to get it done. They have to find innovative ways to change the ecosystem. Otherwise, I don't think, looking at the government, they will promise everything. See, every year, every month, they announce so many programs, so many big programs, but nothing is implemented. And you have mentioned about the problem of cargo transport. So I think implementation is the key, that only private entrepreneurs or group of entrepreneurs or organizations can get it done. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm JP Premlal, Waterman. Actually, everybody has been talking, and the subject as such is waterways. Water is the essential element. That's the prime thing to look into. Like everybody wants the water to be pristine and clean. Like Kaushiq is facing he's installing showers for his kayaking people to cleanse themselves. So we have to clean the water. And this has to be done in not like a major project. This has to be done in small blocks. I mean, everybody, every person, every human living along the sides of these backwaters should be the custodians of the water. They should look into it, not to pollute it, and they should also be part of the system to make the ecosystem what we are talking about inside the water for making it clean. So that's the most important thing to be looked into. Thank you.
A totally different scenario. What is the real excitement that gave you? And how are you retaining that excitement? Because I know how you are doing all these things. How is that being done? And when did you saw that opportunity? Whatever you are making, whether small or big, when did you realize there's an opportunity there? After that?
Yeah, I didn't think of starting a business. What I did is I bought an inflatable kayak, and that was the first inflatable kayak introduced in Dubai in 2000. Somewhere around there. And I bought it. I used to carry it like a backpack because of my love for water, Chalia River, I'm born in Farouk, and we can't live without, like, we used to go for movies, taking the ferry. So it was like your childhood is always connected to water. Not as much as Alapi, but not too far from Farouk perspective. So suddenly I saw this inflatable kayak. I'm like, this is cool. I can carry it like a backpack. I can travel with it. So I used to travel every vacation to Calicut, and that's how it started. So a lot of friends in Calicut said, hey, that's cool. This is nice. Very, very interesting. And then I had a land that I wanted to build my house, but I didn't get the approval because it's a riverfront. And then I asked my dad to find me a place with an existing house. And then he found, so what do I do with the land? I put a proposal for a kayaking club. At that time, we faced a lot of problems, regulators, because that area was plastic free. So they said no plastic kayaks are allowed. Well, kayaks cannot be made in steel because then it won't be a kayak. So we faced a lot of teething problems, educating. It started to a stage where that we are the first club in probably India offering this kind of kayaks. There was some in Rishikesh, but that's whitewater kayak. It's not comparable. And then we started recruiting local team. Actually, one of my staff is here from the beginning. And they are local fishermen and all that. They know the river. So safety is very important. They know the bed of the river. They know where there's sand and where there's fish. So they knew in and out. So it started like that. Didn't start with the big project. All I wanted is an activity for Calicut. When I gave my proposal to an investment banker, he said, Kaushiq, you're wasting your money. Start in Goa or Kochi or Alapi, you will make more money. I'm like, no, I wanted something in Calicut because I need a reason to come to Calicut and be there because I'm working in Dubai and it's not just a vacation. So it's a bit of my greed to be in Calicut, start a business that I like, and I don't want to deal with Calicut. Ideally, Calicut is all about food and culture and all that. Kayaking was not there. But at least I can come and kayak because nobody else has it. Today I'm thinking of, houseboats and yachts in Calicut because nobody else has it. So I have to do it, right? So that's the whole idea. If somebody is doing it, I'll be happy to become their client. But nobody has done it, so I started.
Thank you.
Just a comment, whenever I come to Kerala, I see panels in which the average age is more than 40. So I don't see the future here in the panel. So just a comment. And then, Sajid's picture is like the black hair, but he doesn't seem to be. I'll die next time. Yeah. For you. Warren Buffett is 98 years. Yeah. So whenever I come to Kerala, we look for world-class facilities, right? The only hope I had was the Kochi Metro, and now the Kochi Water Metro. Both are world-class infrastructure. And then I have been to Thrissur. I tried the solar boat there. It's pretty good. I was wondering why there is not more of that in many parts of Kerala, right? And my question is, it's just a comment. Like when I see that picture behind you, like the Vemanad Kyle full of houseboats, are there any regulations that says that this much of effluent should go to the backwaters, or are there any limitation in the usage of fuel or the number of boats, or any kind of control which says that the future should be, the Kerala tourism's future depends on that, right? So are there any regulations, or can TIE do something with that?
That's what the panel mentioned. Jobin was mentioning.
Can TIE do something with that?
Yeah. That's what the panel was mentioning. There's no common accepted standards, especially regarding many things. We found a comment regarding the height of the bridges and many things. That's what we intend to do. An outcome of this is going to be something positive will definitely emerge as an outcome of discussion through TIE.
See, if you ask me, is there a regulation? Yeah, there is a board called Pollution Control Board. They just collect money, nothing else. Okay, I'm just very blank on it. They collect money, 5 years or 8 years or 10 years, you pay that, operate. That's it. Now coming to the restrictions part, this, the government in 2000, from 2015, that was, see this, the entire industry started as a, like it is just started. What I heard from Kaushiq was they are framing a rule for the adventure sports. But how this tourism of houseboats evolved is just by entrepreneurs and with some subsidies from the government initially. But over the period, the government didn't want to invest because the entrepreneurs, private entrepreneurs started investing. So it was the initiative of entrepreneurs which started. Now, there was a time when in 2015, it was initially with the irrigation went to the, after the tragedy of the Periyar boat tragedy, it went to the maritime board. Now the maritime board is the custodian or the rule framing people in the, now from 2015 they have been restricting, because as per the study of CWRDM, which was 400 the carrying capacity of the backwaters of Alleppey was 365, and in 2015 we were already in 450. So they restricted that you cannot have any more houseboats in the backwaters of Alleppey or under the port department of Alleppey. But by the study got to delayed and it went to 2018, the government came up with an adalat, and by the time the count was 846 houseboats. So they said no more registration of the houseboats. So you cannot have any registration in Alleppey. And they had a stop. But sad state is that in 2024, so 2018, the same minister said no, more construction. And whatever boats right now in the Alleppey without registration has to be moved to the other ports, whereas the Cochin or the KDR, that is the Kodungalur registration, or to Calicut or to Kollam. But the sad point is all these 4 registering points is there, but everybody wants to start the business in Alleppey. And now the present count is more than 1,200 boats. And the recent, now that it is the entire thing is in the High Court of Kerala, the study says, the custodian says it is just 400 boats. That is, the port department says there is only 400 boats which is operating in the backwaters. But contradictory to that, the Pollution Control Board and the CWRDM gave a report to the court that as per the satellite survey, there are 950 boats operating. So there is more than that boats operating. The boats which is flying on the water, there are few taken to the land for maintenance. So there is more than 1,000 boats operating right now. But there are contradictions that Port Department wants more boats on the backwaters of Alleppey itself. Due to any other reasons, I don't know. The government also wanted to open up the Alleppey registration now in 2024. When they had to change the decision in 2018, they didn't want any more registration to happen. Now they wanted to open up. So that is the actual situation right now.
Good point. So we are on the last lap. Because Kaushiq has to leave. Sandith, you can just talk shortly.
Yeah, so regarding these boats, although there is restriction on registering in Alappuzha, what they do is you register somewhere else and bring the boat. This is what is happening in practice.
But the carrying capacity is...
Please remain for one more question, Sandith.
And then the last, regarding STP, what you're saying, effluent outside, the regulation is either you have a bio toilet, so that the effluent from that is equally free. You have to establish that, you have to have enzymes every year. So annual testing is supposed to be there, but that doesn't happen. Alternatively, you have a collection, which is what he referred to as, there is a collection unit, but that doesn't work in Alappuzha. So where do we
entrepreneurs have established. No, in 2018, the pollution department sent a stop notice to the tourism department, who is operating the STP, that you are not operating, stop it. That's it. And from then, there was no STP, but the entrepreneurs wanted to, whoever is doing professionally, wanted to operate and keep up the serenity of the backwaters. We invested about 30 lakhs to a barge which collects the effluent and sends it to Cochin. we are not doing it in Alleppey, we are sending it to Cochin.
GD?
Stepping away from houseboats and pollution, I want to just highlight some incredible hidden assets of the backwaters. One, first I'll start with a place called Padaramanal.
It's called?
Padaramanal. An island which is in Kumaragam backwaters, which is a wetland forest, a very rare wetland forest. That's one. Another big asset of Kerala, backwater, connects is an incredible asset, which is like the Mohenjo-daro of we have there, which is Muziris. Phenomenal. Backwaters connects to that. And these are the keys for unlocking the backwaters. Muziris as an asset, the port of ancient India, the oldest mosque in Asia, and what lot more. You'll get into that. And from a historic point of view, from an education point of view, from a tourism point of view, incredible, and all connected by backwaters. Despite the bridge that has come in, which stops you from boat going under. All that is also there.
Oh, thank you. One question to Sajan. As CEO of Water Metro, what are you again going to unlock in the waters? Is something new going to come?
Water Metro has set a benchmark. Central government is now doing feasibility study in 21 Indian cities. It is like replicating the model. That is a huge step, I would say. KMRL is doing the feasibility study now. So in that proposal, Kollam and Alleppey is also there for your information. So that way, I feel Water Metro has set a benchmark, safety standards, and could be a model how water transport. This is about urban water transport and connectivity that can be taken forward. Recently, Anand Mahindra stated Kadamakudi is in his bucket list. After that, I am told that people rushing to Kadamakudi has manifold increased. So it is about marketing maybe that is lacking in our this thing.
So just before handing over to the MC, one common question which I wish the entire panel reply in one word or whatever it is, in a one sentence or in 1 minute is, what I wish to ask you all is, there is a many good gathering of startups and entrepreneurs and many persons sitting in this audience. What do you wish to guide them so as to unlock in Kerala Waterways? What is the choices they can make so that they can ultimately live a life like what all of you are doing by playing in water? And is it an emerging economy? This is my question, what all of you can answer, and then we'll hand it over back to MC. I think JD's opinion can be the end because that has got more content, asset and experience and the management lessons, whatever. I think you yourself can start.
I already said marketing will play a very important role.
What do you have to say to the audience who's comprising of entrepreneurs, startups who have come with interest, opportunities, not the marketing? What do you have to say to them?
That is what I'm coming to.
Not just the audience present here. This goes on video.
Yeah.
That are used for the videos that we put out.
Yeah, that is what I'm coming to. Last year, about 2.2 crore were the domestic tourists that came to Kerala. Waterways definitely, Waterways definitely is the opportunity. Of course, Kerala, when we are opening up, we should be very much stressing on sustainable development, because we were just blaming government. They are not maintaining all these things, and we have make them responsible for everything. That is not correct. When we are throwing away filth into the water, we are all responsible. Everyone is responsible. So that way we have to improve, and waterways are the opportunities.
Right. So my advice is look around you, look for opportunities, and start whatever you have rather than waiting for the best thing to come. If it, since we are talking about water, whatever you want to do. If you don't have money to start yacht business, you can start stand-up paddle business. If you don't have money for that, you can teach people open water swimming. There are takers. Every parent that comes to my club wants their kids to learn swimming, and we charge about 1,000 rupees. So if you have a skill around water, you can start that. You don't need to wait for the most hunky-dory, futuristic solution, and that's my and then talk to experts when it comes to safety. Don't try to. I've seen many kayaking clubs without wearing life jacket, and they say, why should I wear life jacket? The fisherman here is not wearing life jacket. Yes, if you do it as a business, become advocate. Some of you said you have to follow the rules. So when it comes to houseboat, we had the same problem with pollution department. Then we had to show them that we have our own small STP. Only then we got the approval. So everyone has to look around you. There is opportunities. Open water swimming, free diving, scuba diving, I can go on and on. Surf club, it only costs 5 lakhs to start a surf club. India has 7,500 kilometers of coastline. Kerala has got so many rivers, backwaters, tapped, untapped. There is opportunity. If you want, I can advise, and panel has got more successful, jobless entrepreneurs.
Jobless entrepreneurs. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so. Okay, so I would point out to some of the successful clients which I have, which is at small boat operators, which has emerged in many places in Kerala, and Tripuriyar and Konoli was just an example. This is very much possible with taking advantage of the beautiful water bodies we have, kayaking or small boat. There is an increase in curiosity of people to step into water, and you can facilitate and build a business around it, is what I would advise.
My advice is there is a lot of opportunity. You wanted to have a water sports, there is sustainability, there is luxury, there is minimum is luxury, there is an opportunity for that also. So even I can maybe give a tip. That is, I've seen in I think in Bombay or Delhi, there was a travel agent who on his door it's just mentioned 250 rupees consultation. I was on sales. I thought whether I've gone to a doctor or to a travel agent. So when I went inside, I asked him, why are you charging? This is the first time I'm seeing a consultation fee of 250 rupees. He said, it is not necessary that you have to buy the package from me. My holiday is if you want to pick it. Otherwise, I'm spending time for you educating Kerala. I'm educating Darjeeling. I'm educating whichever destination you are going for a holiday. I'm charging you 250 rupees. Like a doctor, I'm charging you a consultation fee. Take it and go. Same way for the young entrepreneurs, you can be a very good consultant to start up a travel company.
I don't know what more I can say after the experts have spoken. All I say is backwaters is not waters only. It's not only waters. It's not only houseboats. It's not only all the pollution that we see here. It's an extraordinary, unique culture, social system there. Whether Kuttanad or all along the backwaters, the wetland forests, the historic places, and it connects the length and breadth of Kerala. About 30% of Kerala is connected to the backwaters. So in that context, we are sitting in a very unique but a massive environment. Now, how you can make, what you can make out of it? Years ago, in 92, we thought it would be a good place for a hotel. Now the place is full of hotels. Now Jobin says there are 1,000 houseboats. I say there are 5,000 houseboats. Nobody has any count. And I'm not quoting anyone else. I'm quoting a former tourism minister of government of India who said authoritatively there are 5,000 houseboats in Kerala. And he cannot be wrong because nobody knows how many there are. So, in that context, besides tourism, which itself we only touch the what they call the proverbial end of the iceberg, and in tourism, and so many more to be done, the sectors to be explored. Nowhere else in India, except maybe Sundarbans has to an extent. Some other parts of Karnataka has big rivers, but a backwater system is so much of life. Why does everybody wants to come to Alleppey for houseboats, for backwaters? Because Alleppey backwaters are full of life. You can go anywhere else and go fantastic waterways, but after 2 hours you'll be end of it. Here you got it happening and all kinds of things happening there. People living, people swimming, people cooking, and what more. So I could go on like that.
Yeah. Thank you, dear audience. It has been very wonderful to have an interaction with you. We've been talking now for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I had promised a few of them that this should be winded up at 6 p.m. Definitely the key takeaways of this has been rich. So before handing it over back to the MC, we have our president himself here who will let him wind up with respect to the great. Thanks a lot to each one of you because we had great insights and excellent learning and life management experiences what you could share with us as well as with the audience. So back to you, President, for your final comments.
Thank you so much, Ananda Mani. Before the formal closure of the session, I thought I must once again personally thank all of you. It's been a wonderful discussion. What started as a small WhatsApp message from Joe's uncle in our Thai Kerala group on how can we make our waterways swimmable, to somebody else brought out the metro project was discussed in detail about the 4,000 crore project, how we can make it navigable. Then again a lot of discussion on swimmable and navigable and what can we do. Essentially, there are a lot of things out there, but what can we do other than discussing in closed rooms? So one thing is clear. One, at a government level, what can we do? Yes, we are an advocacy group to some extent. So when we have the direct connect with the government, we work with them very closely. So some of the observations that we have, we will come back to all of you personally also and sum up and probably present that to the government. We have a TICON coming up in November. We are expecting all the key stakeholders from the government to also be there. But more importantly, as many of us have also been discussing, more than what the government can do, it's about what we can do, what should the ecosystem do, what should the entrepreneurs do. So we'll probably come out with 4 or 5 ideas which young startups can work on. We heard, somebody who has 2 lakhs, somebody who has 5 lakhs. What are the small steps they can take? How they can also be pulled into this ecosystem. We've seen a young guy like Sandith who's been trained or studied in the best of universities, IIT and INSEAD with no business background. We've seen how he has come into the waterways, as his profession and vocation. So there are so many youngsters out there who would probably be interested in coming in. And yes, the panel may be above 42, but the kind of experience and wealth of knowledge we have here is absolutely invaluable for us. And thank you all once again for this wonderful session.
Thank you to all our panelists for such an insightful discussion. On behalf of Thai Kerala, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for taking your time to be with us today and for sharing your expertise. And now, I would like to invite our President, Mr. Vivek Krishna, to kindly come forward and present tokens of appreciation to our esteemed speakers.